What's up? I am with Alicia in Michigan, chilling with one of my best friends from New York who's moved out here, and it's beautiful. It's a perfect blue with a beautiful green of late summer leaves, and they've got this big, beautiful, I don't know what kind of tree, but like they told me it was about 250 plus years, and in the morning it feels like it just radiates beautiful energy. I don't know how to describe it. It's pretty cool. But anyway, I told you guys last week or a couple weeks ago that on the heels of every Kindred conversation that I have, I'd want to be able to, on the back end, reflect or have conversations with the at-large world about the topic. And this topic, we were talking about grief as over the weekend before the Kindred conversations, the lead actor in the Black Panther, Chad Boseman, passed from stage 4 colon cancer, and it was one of the first losses where I felt it from a celebrity. I think typically the last time I felt, even remotely moved by somebody so far removed from my life, I'd say was probably in the 90s with Kurt Cobain, and I think not even Whitney Houston. I unfriended somebody on Facebook for talking shit about Whitney Houston's death. So while I wasn't exactly like openly weeping about Whitney, I definitely took offense when somebody was just like, whatever, she was just a singer. Just like she wasn't just a singer, Chadwick wasn't just an actor. He really represented something really beautiful and powerful to young black kids and brown kids all over the world, really, but definitely little black and brown American kids. And so we were talking about grief on that scale and how when a celebrity dies that you feel close to by virtue of watching them develop their game, i.e. Kobe, or watching something as iconic as Black Panther, it almost gives you space to heal your own grief. And I think because I'm the facilitator of these conversations, I need to do a better job of like making sure I check in with myself and I'm honest with myself about the responses I'm going to offer in thinking about these questions, which isn't to say that I wasn't honest in our last conversation, not by any stretch, but I didn't talk about the fact that I started 2020 off with grieving. That January 1st, I had to put my dog Otto down because he was diagnosed with terminal cancer, and it had hit that point when you just knew. And so I started this year grieving deeply for this creature that had grown up with me for the last 6 years. And honestly, like while I was in the midst of grieving for that, the pandemic happened. And so all of that kind of got pushed to the wayside in a real way, but not really, because everything has been heightened. Every little slight, every little joy, everything feels so much more amplified because of this. But one of the questions that was asked this time around was like, what have you learned from your grief? And it's not resilience, and it could be resilience for some. I don't mean to presume or put words in people's mouth, but I think for me, what I've learned from grief, or having experienced grief so many times at this point, is that it will also go. You know what I mean? Nothing is permanent, and in some instances, that is a really painful realization that nothing's permanent, be it a love or the life of a beautiful pet. But then other times, it's a sweet relief to know that the pain that you're feeling or the anguish around losing someone close to you also passes. And it doesn't pass and go away and disappear and you just wake up one day and like it's as if this person was never a part of your life. But they become enmeshed in your life in these silent, unspoken ways where they stay with you, where the wind becomes a message from that person, or a robin in the tree. And I think that those are the lessons that I've taken from grief, is to find the connections that are beyond the physical, so beyond the body, the corporeal, and to realize that, when I was younger and I would hear the phrase, nothing gold would stay, it was so much FOMO, so much anguish of like, why not? And now, as I'm, in a different season, I'd say the late summer of my life, I'd say that when that phrase comes up again, that metaphor comes up again, that it's welcomed, and it's an invitation to appreciate what's in front of you right here, right now. So if you're grieving, know that it will pass, the pain will pass, but the love will remain. And as always, thank you guys for being willing to be a part of these conversations. And if you would like to join us, it's every other Monday. I send out a Google link on most of the social media platforms, Facebook, Instagram. I don't really mess with Snapchat. And if you're interested, subscribe and give it a like or a comment. Thanks again. We'll talk soon.